Jody Avergan here. Later this year, ESPN will bring you 30 for 30 podcasts, the great film series, now a new series of sports audio documentaries. This will be big. We're finding the best stories for you right now, and to do that, we're behind the wheel of the new Mini Countryman, the biggest mini yet. To find great stories, you have to get out into the world and follow your instincts. That's where the new Mini Countryman comes in handy. With all 4 all-wheel drive, we can chase down a story in the city, the country, and most places in between. Podcast equipment isn't very bulky, but even if you're hauling a lot of gear, there's plenty of cargo space for all your stuff, and if a few of our producers want to tag along, no problem. Mini Countryman comfortably seats 5. The Countryman may be big, but it still drives like a Mini thanks to the twin-power turbo engine. No matter what story you're chasing, the new Mini Countryman will help you find it. It's available now, and the new 30 for 30 podcasts are coming this June. Visit miniusa.com/new countryman.
Welcome into what is the final ESPN FC of the week. I'm Dan Thomas, joined here on the couch today by Shaka Hislop and Ali Moreno. We also welcome to the programme Ian Darke, and it's with Ian that we start. And Romelu Lukaku is yet to be confirmed, but if you believe every media outlet in the world, it will be soon. Lukaku moving from Everton to Manchester United. £75 million is the figure that's been put on the transfer fee. What do you make of it all, Ian? Does this excite you? Is it a good move for United?
Well, it is if the signing goes through. It's not a done deal yet. Of course, Lukaku has been in the United States alongside Paul Pogba, who apparently has done a lot to talk him into a move to Manchester United. It looks as if Chelsea have missed out here, but I just wonder whether Chelsea, with their noses out of joint a bit about this, might come in with a late counter bid, because I believe, my information is that Chelsea have earmarked more than £75 million for a new striker. Everton. So, read on with that one. But Lukaku, for me, yes, to answer your question, Dan, good signing. He's scored goals everywhere he's been, and he's been playing for the likes of West Bromwich Albion and Everton, not top 6 teams at the moment, and scoring goals. I think he'd carry on scoring goals at around 20 a season for Manchester United.
Now, Ian, what the boys were saying yesterday with regards to an argument as to why he may not fit into United as well as he's done, for example, at Everton, is the fact that it's a very different game when you play for United. You're going to have a lot of teams sitting in. There's not going to be a lot of space for Lukaku to working, and he doesn't have that sort of touch, which would create that space.
Well, that's the rap, isn't it? That's the big question with Lukaku. Has he got that nous, that craft of, say, a Diego Costa, where he can score goals in high-profile matches? He did score in both games against Manchester City last season. He scored against Arsenal. He scored against Spurs. I think they'd work on him, and I don't think Jose Mourinho would be going for Lukaku in the way that he has if he thought he wasn't going to suit the style.
Shaka, first time we get your opinion on all of this.
I think it's a good signing for Manchester United. At $75 million, I think it's a good price. And as much as we're talking about Lukaku maybe not having the type of space that he's used to in Manchester United, let's also remember Jose Mourinho, and I'll hark back to that second half of the season, last time they won the title with Chelsea, where they were played very negatively, pragmatic was the term, and it allowed, or it asked Diego Costa to play up front on his own at times, inviting pressure and then hitting teams on the counter-attack. And this is a team that won the title. Now, maybe that's the thinking here with Manchester United. Maybe that's what we see from them again, that pragmatic approach and asking a striker to kind of carry the brunt of the goal scoring up front on his own, which Lukaku has done for Everton, and maybe will be the answer for Manchester United in the league. I say that because I don't think Lukaku is the quality of striker United need if they want to make a serious dent in the Champions League.
So you're telling me already that Manchester United are going to be unwatchable?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah.
It's a preemptive strike. The only thing I would say about Lukaku, I think he can score goals. I think he will produce for Manchester United. But he has to be reminded, and it has to happen right away when he gets into Manchester United, We want you to stay central. Stop going out into wider areas. You're going to be most dangerous inside the 18-yard box because of this body, because of this frame, because of your ability to get on the end of things. Stop trying to go dribble and play make. No, stay in the 18-yard box and allow the playmakers around you to put the service in the box for you.
If we take a look, OK, let's just say, for argument's sake, that Manchester United do sign Lukaku. Let's just take a look at their potential starting 11 for the season, which kicks off, in 6 weeks' time. Is this team good enough to compete for the title, Ian, in your opinion?
Well, no, I don't think they are. They were 24 points behind the lead this season. I don't think they're going to make that up in one go. I think it's going to take time. Top 4, yes. Winning the title, I'd say at this range, and we don't know yet. I mean, it's early July. We don't know what the squads are going to be for each of the teams yet. But I would say that's too much to expect for Manchester United, unless, of course, Pogba really catches fire this season and sets the Premier League alight from midfield.
But surely we should be sat here and looking at the money that United have spent over the last 18 months. You look, we have got Mkhitaryan there, you've got Bailly, obviously Lukaku, Pogba. It's 300 million. Yet we're sat here and Ian's saying top 4 is about what on earth is going on?
I think the issue is, and we are still very early in the transfer window, even with with the new signings for Manchester United, including Lindelof, I still don't think this team is as good as Chelsea. And there's still a lot of question marks about Chelsea, particularly around Diego Costa. Is he staying? Is he going? If he does go, which it looks like, who's his replacement? But other than that, let's freely assume that it's a like-for-like replacement for Diego Costa. What we saw from Chelsea last term, I don't think anybody has done anything in this transfer window to eclipse that.
But this is Manchester United, and this is a club that spent a lot of money, and you just compare it to... You've got to compare them, because they want to be in the conversation with Real Madrid and Barcelona. Can you imagine either of those clubs going into a season saying, you know, we just kind of want to finish top 2, we want to be there and thereabouts? It's a completely different world, and it's a completely different mindset to the Manchester United that I grew up watching and we got used to under Sir Alex Ferguson.
Well, that reality is gone for Manchester United. What you're talking about is no longer the reality of Manchester United today. What you're talking about is a team that could compete with Real Madrid and Barcelona. This Manchester United cannot. They are not at the same level. This is a team that maybe they have a lot of names, maybe they have spent a lot of money, but this is a team that cannot compete at that level, at that elite level. They think historically they belong there, and they just may do so. But in terms of competition, in terms of the field, right now, not anywhere near the very top of Europe.
Ian, obviously, we take a look at that starting 11, and there's no place, is there, for Wayne Rooney? Reports that he will be returning to Everton. Mixed emotions on the couch regarding whether or not this is a good idea. Where do you stand?
Mixed reviews too, I think, among the Everton supporters. If you listen to phone-ins, some saying he's slow, he's past it, he's not the player he was, why do we want him back now? Others taking the view that Ronald Koeman knows what he's doing. This isn't a sentimental move or a bit of stage management for great publicity and a great story. His view, I think, is that Rooney will come back really with something to prove after everything that happened at Manchester United last season. Super fit, really in shape and playing a key role for Everton. Whether he can do that or not, what it means for Ross Barkley, those are other questions.
Well, they're questions I'm going to ask you, Ian. What do you think? Is super fit that he's going to, you know, some sort of time machine that he's found over the summer that can take him back 4 or 5 years, because everyone's saying he may be 31, but he's playing like a 35-year-old considering the number of games he's got under his belt.
Yeah, well, I think the problem was he didn't have enough game time last season. That didn't help him. I think his confidence took a knock. There were a few injuries as well. He isn't the player he used to be. But let's get it right about Wayne Rooney. He's been a fabulous player. He's England's top goal scorer. He's Manchester United's all-time top goal scorer.
Is the key word there not been, Ian?
But you think, like you're saying, is he a has-been now? Well,
This is it. If you're Everton, would you sign Wayne Rooney if you were in charge, Ian?
I'm not in charge. Ronald Koeman's in charge, and Ronald Koeman's doing a good job. And Ronald Koeman, halfway through last season, made it pretty clear he wanted Wayne Rooney, and he wants him now, even though They've bought a lot of players. They've got a new spine for the team. I think Rooney will have a role to play, but I think Koeman will be clever with him. He won't play him all the time. Sometimes he might use him as an impact sub, and he'll use him for all his experience and know-how. And I think he could squeeze another important year out of Rooney.
Well, for a lot more on Romelu Lukaku and his possible move to Manchester United and his relationship with Jose Mourinho, go over to ESPNFC.com, where Andy Mitten has broken down the relationship between the two. Coming up after the break, Herculez Gomez will be joining us as we'll be discussing that 6-match ban handed out to Osorio. Welcome back. If you haven't done so, do it now. Download the latest edition of the Max and Hurt podcast. The boys, of course, looking ahead to the Gold Cup, which will be Juan Carlos Osorio-less. As we welcome in Herculez Gomez to the show. Is that a word? Can we use it as an adjective? I don't think we can.
It is now.
6-game ban he's been given after his antics in the Confederations Cup. Is it right?
Yeah, I believe it's deserved. It goes back to the first game as well when Chris Woods had the opportunity on goal. They felt he should have kicked it out of bounds in fair play and retaliated to the assistant coaches on the world feed. I think FIFA had enough. After this play right here against Hector Moreno where Pepe shoved him, he felt it should have been at least reviewed. It wasn't. He goes into the fourth official, creates a little bit of contact, and he gives him a little bit of how's your mother.
That's embarrassing, isn't it?
It is.
To have a national coach doing that for a silly third, fourth place game.
You're absolutely right. And I think this is where FIFA had enough with it. It's 6 games that'll go through the length of Gold Cup. If they make it to the final or if they make it to the third place game, whichever. I think they should not appeal. It's deserved. It's an unfortunate moment for Juan Carlos Osorio. You can tell the pressure is getting to him because he's a man of character, but he certainly didn't show it in that instant.
6 matches?
Yeah, no question.
Managers have to be held even at a higher standard than players themselves, and you just can't have this happening.
Your co-host, Max Bretos, was crying about it on Twitter. He was saying that 6 matches was too harsh. Obviously, now he's going to get blamed whatever happens to Mexico in the Gold Cup. If they win, they'll say, well, look, we did it without him. If we lose, well, we lost because he wasn't there.
It's an improbable position for Juan Carlos Osorio because it's a tournament that many will say if he wins, you're supposed to win. And if he loses, what are you doing? Well, how can you lose this? And it's a real improbable position for him. Mexico's not taking their best squad. They're missing a lot of players, important positions as well. I don't see him having that easy of a go. They should make it to semis, maybe the final.
I am troubled by this group. Let me tell you.
Well, there's a lot of those groups, Alex.
Oh, boy.
There's a lot of those groups, but the good thing is they can have reinforcements after the group phase, which certainly they'll bring in. Question is whether those clubs will let them, those players go because they can use that help.
Will he still be taking the team for training?
Yes, he will be allowed to train the team. He will be allowed to attend the press conferences before the game, just not at the game or the press conference after the game.
Stupid question, boys. Does this make a difference if your coach isn't on the sidelines? How much of a difference does it actually make during the 90 minutes?
I think it does, and I've made this point before, especially when things aren't going well and you are looking for some type of leadership that maybe isn't coming from on the field. You are looking to your sidelines. And when your coach isn't there, I think it can be a recipe for disaster. It can be a recipe for the train to fall off the tracks.
Particularly when you think, and you just mentioned this is a B squad for Mexico. There isn't a lot of experience for Mexico in this team. So, yes, you're looking for somebody to be the point of reference. When the point of reference is not there, then who do you turn to? The other thing, though, I would say is that if Mexico is so troubled by Juan Carlos Osorio and the Gold Cup, and whether they're going to win it or not win it, then don't take a B squad. Don't take a B squad. Don't ask me to take this tournament seriously if the U.S. is taking a B squad, if Mexico's taking a B squad, if Costa Rica is missing Carlos Navas and Celso Borges, the 2 best players. What are we supposed to think of this tournament? Am I supposed to get excited about Martinique and Nicaragua? Come on, man.
This is the problem, and it filters down to the fans, doesn't it? If you're trying to sell this tournament, then you've got to bring your A game.
Well,
and if you don't, then it's very difficult.
There's actually a bylaw in the CONCACAF rules that says you have to bring your A squad. Now, that's all subjective, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, it's very subjective.
But here's the issue. They will sell no matter what. This tournament is designed for the U.S. and for Mexico to meet in the final. It's not a draw. They don't have a lottery. It's not very fair. It's designed for those 2 teams to meet in the final. It's a cash grab. It's a business.
But here's the thing, though. As you saw with the U.S. in the last Gold Cup, they get knocked out early. They don't get to the final. There will be another Gold Cup to decide who goes to Confederations Cup in 2021. If all of a sudden you don't win, whether you're USA or Mexico, you don't win this year, there's a lot of pressure on you in 2 years' time with that Confederations Cup berth at stake. And then all your eggs are in the one basket. Now, again, if USA or Mexico don't win this time around, then you expect both of them to take very different approaches.
So what point are you making, Shane?
You have both these teams with all their eggs in one basket in 2019. And only one will go. I think that's a dangerous prospect for both.
See, let me just say that I don't think either one of these managers, Juan Carlos Osorio or Bruce Arena, are thinking about next Confederation Cup. They're thinking about how they need to sort themselves out for World Cup qualifiers and the upcoming World Cup. So they are making decisions based on the immediate future rather than what's ahead for any one of these national teams. It is short-sighted, but don't ask us to be really interested and really excited about a tournament that the teams that are supposed to win it are not taking it seriously.
Let's take a look at the USA schedule then coming up. Of course, their first game is against Panama. Say something, Herc. I don't quite know how we can get, as Ali said, excited about this for a US perspective.
Well, it's the future with this squad. That's how you can get excited. You've seen prospects that could potentially be involved in World Cup qualifiers and that World Cup. It's only for the future. It is a B squad, like Ali said. This is a Panama squad that's not just at their strongest. They should handle them.
Pep Guardiola rarely gives one-on-one interviews, but an interesting one with Les Sportius in Spain. He came out and said to reach the level of Barca, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus, that is very complicated. You need time. A decade, Ian, is 10 years, which is a rather long time, isn't it, if you're a Manchester City fan, to give Pep Guardiola?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a danger here of everybody taking that to mean literally. I think what he means is to make Manchester City into a club like a Bayern Munich or a Barcelona or a Real Madrid, a team capable of building a Champions League winning dynasty season after season after season. It would take that long with Manchester City, and that might be about right. Of course, he doesn't have 10 years. He won't be staying 10 years. He says he can only probably stay anywhere for about 3 years, and is talking about early retirement as a coach. That doesn't mean to say he can't win the title this year with Manchester City, but I tell you what, the first thing he's got to do, as has been previously referenced in this season, is to go out and get some new defenders.
Now, people argue with that,
with that defence.
They would look back at the Chelsea of 2004 with Jose Mourinho. He came in, first season success, and it was sustained, wasn't it, over the next few years. They were always competing not only domestically, but in the Champions League as well. That didn't take a decade.
No, it didn't take a decade, but Chelsea haven't been turned into a Barcelona or Real Madrid, have they? Not quite yet. They have won the Champions League, and they have had a lot of domestic success, but they're not up there in the level that Pep Guardiola is talking about, of being like a Real Madrid are now, dominating European football. So it might take something like that time to turn the whole business model, the whole club, and the whole aura of success into that kind of thing.
Meanwhile, other interesting things from Pep Guardiola in this interview, talking about the big difference, Ian, between the Premier League football and other leagues around the world. And he said, the only difference in England is that the officials allow more, and so the matches are closer. Plays that would be called a foul anywhere else here, they are not. He goes on to say, there are smaller clubs who can even the score with direct play, with contact that the refs don't call. Do you agree with that?
No, not any of it at all. It just sounds like a lot of squealing to me. The laws of the game are the laws of the game. They're not interpreted that differently in the Premier League. I think on that one, I think my message to Pep would be just get on with it.
I like that word, squealing, from Ian. Is it a fair summation? Is it just squealing from Pep Guardiola?
I agree with Ian on both points, in all honesty. And yes, the second comment, as much as I, like Ian, kind of defend Pep Guardiola with the first, I thought the second was just out of place. And surely he knew of English football well before deciding to take up the City job, knew that these were the demands, this would be the characteristics of it. So I don't see why you know that well ahead of time. A year into the job, now all of a sudden it's become some kind of revelation to you. That doesn't make sense to me.
It's more of the same from Pep Guardiola in that instead of him adapting to the realities of the Premier League, he's expecting everybody else, including the referees, to adapt to his style, to his way of playing. Look, you have a team, you have a squad, you know you have a philosophy of playing. I understand that you would want to implement that on the field, but you also know that if this is a league that historically is physical, that there is a lot of contact, there are certain things that you have to accommodate as part of your strategy as well. You can't just say, I'm going to walk in here and I'm going to do it my way and it's going to work regardless of what's out there. No. Part of, I think, being a great manager is adapting the pieces that you have to the realities that you have to set out for yourself in order to get results. He hasn't done that very well with Manchester City because he continues to be arrogant and stubborn in the way he approaches the game.
The challenge now is, what does Pep Guardiola do? How does he react to his own recognition of this issue, let's call it? Because the criticism of Pep Guardiola at Barcelona was that he did not have a plan B. Didn't show much of a plan B at Bayern Munich either. And 12 months in, we didn't see City do anything differently from the time they started to have issues to the end of the season. It was always about this total football, Pep Guardiola's way of doing things, which is great. But if things aren't going right, if players are going down injured and you're having to bring others in, how do you adapt? That's what Antonio Conte did best, better than anybody I've seen with Chelsea. Pep Guardiola hasn't shown that knack yet. Now maybe let's call this a self-realization or recognition of the problem. How do you deal with it, or do you just continue being as stubborn as he's shown in the past?
It's also interesting that he brings this up as a Premier League thing. When you think of the kings of this sort of play over the last few years, it's been Atletico Madrid, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and yet you're comparing Premier League to La Liga and the refs. It's a bit of a strange quote from Guardiola, who is, let's face it, Ian, under some pressure going into his second tenure, considered that he delivered no silverware in his first season.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a shock, really. First time that's happened to him. This is all new territory. But the boys are right. He knew where he was going. He'd known for a long time he was coming to England, where the game probably has got a bit more power and pace about it, if not superior technique. Probably not superior technique. But, you know, he can't be bleating about this. England isn't Mars. It's not some other planet we're playing on. It's the same game. And like Ali was saying, they have to adapt to it, Manchester City. So I'm a little bit baffled by his quotes here.
Thank you, Ian. A decade is 10 years and England isn't Mars. Don't say every day isn't a school day here on ESPN.
Learning.
With you, of course, throughout the whole off-season. Check your local listings for times.
Daddy, where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, Sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Welcome back. That's it. The end of the show for the week. Have a lovely weekend. It's a very special weekend, by the way, for one of our guests, Ali Moreno's birthday.
Oh, what? There is a cake! I was going to pull a Yaya, too. Oh, Mama, Venezuela! Oh, you got to be kidding me.
We've got to say thank you to Sweet Mia's for this cake.
Oh, look at this.
It was a little last minute, apparently.
Hey, that's all right. We'll take it, baby. We'll take it. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Hey, I'm emotional. I'm emotional here. Oh, but I should have here, huh?
Give it a little bite.
No. This is
Give it a little
beautiful.
bite.
Did you see this?
No.
The
Give it a little
detail.
bite.
Come on, Venezuela.
No.
Wait, what's that noise? It's Steve Nicol running to
No, Stevie, no. I'm on, baby.
I didn't get a cake for my birthday.
Happy birthday, Ali.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Mama, Venezuela!
Slice. I want some of
Next
that.
time. Goodbye. That is massive.
Look at that.
Welcome to Extra Time. Somehow, Ali's birthday cake has survived from the show to this segment
far.
without being touched. It smells fantastic.
It does. No candles? No candles?
That's beautiful.
Well, it's a health and safety kind of candles.
Yeah,
right?
you can,
Burn the whole
not
place.
that amount of candles. You can have candles, not that many.
How many are we talking about?
I'm a little emotional about this.
How many are we
This moment
talking
means a
about?
lot to me.
Just saying,
Yeah.
it's
I'm just
few-
saying,
few candles.
this is beautiful.
It is
Thank you, guys. Thank
thick.
you, everybody.
Look how thick it is.
Well, I'm not thin myself.
I've lost the part of the people who made
To
it. I had to
match.
thank. Here we are. Sweet Mia's, because it's a little last minute. And thank you very much for that. A lot of people were closed or on holiday.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
Don't tell me it was last minute. I know that there's been a lot of people.
That's impressive regardless.
Yes.
Last minute just.
Yeah. Don't qualify the comment.
The flavor.
I know there were a lot of people behind it. Thank you. I love you.
There we go. Do you know what? So the producer said to me, what sort of cake do you think Ali would like? And I said, he'd eat anything.
Have you seen Ali?
Well, all right. Fact. I know. That's the world I live in. Happy birthday to me. I love everybody. Smile and wave.
Good.
Yeah.
Why does Harry Kane not get the same respect that other world-class strikers do? His numbers clearly suggest that he should. We had a big argument. You said that Chicharito was better than Harry Kane.
No, that wasn't the argument.
You love Dan Thomas.
Why doesn't he get the respect? He plays in Tottenham. Is it not a big enough club? Could that be the reason?
I think he gets love.
He gets a lot.
I think Harry Kane gets a lot of love.
Yeah.
I give Harry Kane a lot of love.
So is Chicharito better than Harry Kane or not?
In the box, yes. That was the argument.
Oh, boy.
Well.
Oh, boy.
No
He
cake.
said it.
No cake for him.
Inside that box, yes.
No, there's no cake.
Outside that box, no.
Right,
Okay,
how come Juan Carlos Osorio has Chicharito playing outside that box there?
I'm not Juan Carlos Osorio, my friend.
You're on Twitter, aren't you? Huh? What's the Twitter handle?
At Hercules G. Are there Spurs fans?
You're about to find
I didn't see that.
They like me very much, I tell you.
You're over here quiet. It's your birthday, don't want to cause trouble.
How many EPL players would get into the Real Madrid 11?
No.
I count 8. Courtois, Lloris, De Gea.
So hold on a second. So you're going to play with 3 goalkeepers?
Well, yes.
Apparently, yeah.
You got to
Okay.
pick one.
It helps.
What are we
Kante,
doing?
Alexis Sanchez, Eden Hazard, Carl Walker, Harry Kane. Well, Carl Walker can get in the Spurs team at the end of the season, so I don't think that's even worth discussing. Harry Kane
Maybe Harry Kane.
ahead of Benzema.
But even, okay, so say you bring Kante. So who are you taking out?
Casemiro, I suppose.
Do you? Do you?
That's a hard sell.
As
yeah.
well as he played at the end
Yeah.
of the season?
That's a hard sell.
Hazard, Alexis Sanchez, I'm not having him in Real Madrid team.
Who do you take out?
That's the thing. Who do you take out? You're absolutely right.
No, it's...
Yeah.
It's not 8 players, I'll tell you that.
No, maybe the 3 goalkeepers.
Well, you know.
And Harry Kane with Benzema. Final one. If I nutmeg you on my first try, can I work on the ESPN FC team for a month? Work as long as you want.
So,
Don't expect a cake.
No, you're not getting a cake.
What does it feel like to be nutmegged in a professional environment in front of thousands and
I've
thousands?
never been nutmegged. You? Not a professional.
Didn't you say that you megged him before?
Yeah, but I didn't get the ball back. It went in the net.
Oh.
So it wasn't clean because I didn't get it back. It went in the net.
I need to see video evidence of that.
Wow,
I don't
sad.
believe that for a minute.
What was this, DC?
Last game of the season, 2006 season, in Los Angeles.
This meant a lot to you, huh?
It's a difficult day. I don't remember a lot about that day. It was a difficult day.
This meant a lot to Hercules, clearly.
When you don't score many goals, you remember them all very, very well.
Vivid picture of all 100, and we got them.
400 million. That fell off quickly. Ali, have a lovely birthday.
Well, thank you very
Happy
much.
birthday,
Save
Ali.
us some cake,
Thank you.
please.
Whoa.
We can have some cake. It would be great.
Oh,
This is
What
beautiful.
are you implying by that? Save us some cake.
Huh?
What are you implying by that? Save us some cake.
I'm not sure that he was thinking of us at all when he's measuring up that cake.
He was measuring it.
Shaq, considering that picture that's doing the rounds of you in that West Indies top.
It's a bad angle. It's a bad angle.
The lighting.
It's a
ESPN FC is back with you on
That's it?
bad angle.
Sunday. You can
Wasn't
join us
flattering.
on half hour later. It's 12:30. It's all right. It's okay. Bring some cake. ESPN 2.